let's get to the Texans and the Jaguars because now we've crested this idea of hey, the Texans struggling, hey, the Texans struggling, hey, the Texans struggling. Now the Texans are struggling. Okay, they're
Yeah.
0-3, and that's that threshold that very few teams bounce back from. Okay,
Yep.
0-2, you got about a 10%, 11% shot. I think 0-3 is even less than that. I mean, well, that certainly is less than
Yeah.
that. It's let's see here. How many 0-3
And
teams have
I
made
I
the
think
playoffs, Albert? One,
I
two, three, four, five, six. The last one being the Houston Texans in 2018. So
all right.
it
So
does.
I just look at this like, I mean, look, they the Titans this week, and their first two losses were explainable. They were two perennial playoff teams. Both were one score losses. One was on the road. Um, so like all of that's explainable. This one's a little harder to wrap your arms around. And like those big picture questions with CJ Stroud, again, rookie left tackle, rookie receivers, rookie offensive coordinator, all of that. At some point, this has got to turn, and that was going to be the week that it was going to happen. And so, uh, you know, I I think it's fair to have some concern now. I think it's definitely fair to have some concern, and the offense is going to have to come around because the defense has not been bad. Um, the Titans this week, and then they go to Baltimore
Yeah.
in week 5. So this isn't going to get easier. And then your Seahawks are there after the bye.
To me, I was surprised at the lack of well, really everything. I mean, I was so high on this, and it doesn't mean I'm not high on this offensive staff that they brought in. I mean, I thought Nick Caley and Jerry Shapinski, that was the answer to me,
Yeah.
right? Is that you blend the New England with the Rams, and you come up with something that's going to give the quarterback a lot of answers, while also
Yep.
taking stuff off his plate. Even though I mean, Stroud
For
does
sure.
have a larger command of everything, but I mean, on that last pick of the game. I mean, Josh Hines Allen was just beating the crap out of this team for 3.9 quarters. And then the last passing play of the game, you don't have anybody helping on him. And Stroud gets the ball tipped and throws another pick. And so some of this stuff I don't think is on CJ Albert. I mean, I just think that it looks procedural. I mean, there was, DeMeco Ryans was hot on the sideline during this game and not with the players. And I don't know if he's necessarily thrilled about how this thing is looking.
Right. And again, like you have to, I mean, for me, it's like you've made this bet on a lot of these new elements of the offense coming together all at once. So
Mm-hmm.
like Ursary's got a really high ceiling at left tackle, but what does he look like the rest of the year? Um, Higgins and Noel, I think, came out of the box, and you thought, okay, those guys are going to be contributors right away. They're still behind Kirk and Hutchinson, just as far as snaps played and who's starting. And so, does that look different over the course of the season? No Mixon, So, uh, it feels like now they've gone from a team that has like a really high ceiling to one that needs a bunch of things to correct themselves really, really fast on the offensive side of the ball, or their season's going to be lost. And I think, again, the Titans should give them a get right game this week, but then having to go to Baltimore and you're right back where you're facing 1-4. There's a tough spot to be in.
Yeah. Yeah, this is and you don't know where it goes from here, right? Because I think that the team will definitely be facing some big picture questions at season's end, and especially when you pivot away from because right now you're sitting here and you're thinking, okay, this team made the playoffs and won a playoff game last year. And then you moved on from Bobby Slowick, the offensive coordinator, who, by the way, interviewed for the Jets job and
Yeah.
then and then was dismissed. And so I think it was Lance Zierlein that brought it up, and I used to work with Lance. So I have a lot of respect for Lance.
Yep.
He said something yesterday. It's like, what's better, keeping him and just giving him a good talking to, or totally yanking the rug out from underneath it and building this new thing, which also looks broken. And so, I mean, I don't know if we're there yet in terms of asking those fair questions, but
Yeah.
just structurally, this thing it just didn't look right yesterday.
right? And I think part of it is this is sort of what you asked for, CJ, right? Like you did want more control of the line. You had it at Ohio State. You felt powerless last year to adjust things and to change things the way that you wanted to change them on the fly. And that you felt like that offense the last 2 years was a little too stagnant and didn't give you enough power. Now you have that power, but it becomes more difficult to play the position, right? And I think there was naturally going to be some growing pains here. I don't know if anyone anticipated that they would seep into the season this way. Um, but this is a game that the Texans should not lose.
Yeah.
Based on the talent on their roster, this is one they should not lose. And I think DeMeco and those guys know it. And so it'll be interesting to see if there's an adjustment to what they're doing offensively. Do they scale back a little bit here over the next 2 weeks and then reset at the bye? I think it's definitely a possibility.
And especially the fact that the Jaguars didn't look good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I know.
and here's what's stunning to me. And again, I guess
I mean, like in general, it's funny you say that because I think in general there was a lot of bad football this weekend. So
sure. And I can't sit here.
I didn't realize this. Do you realize? Sorry to interrupt you. Travis Hunter played more on defense than he did in offense this week.
Yes, that was a talking point. He actually had a nice run fit in this game. Like came from the cornerback position and really kind of gave it to I don't know if it was Chubb or who the running back was at that point, but came in and made a stop. But so let me ask you this without looking at the box score, okay? And again, I can't play both sides of this where I'm going to say the Eagles are so smart winning it any way that they can, and then say that the Jaguars, are winning, but aren't doing a good job getting their playmakers the ball. I can't do it, right? But let me just ask you this, okay? Who led the Jaguars in targets by a wide margin on Sunday, if you had to guess?
I had to guess.
And I think by the,
I mean, I would say Brian Thomas is the easy one, but you're asking me this because it's not Brian Thomas,
correct? Yeah,
and it's not Travis Hunter,
correct. Travis Hunter had 2 targets, by the way. Caught 1 ball for 21 yards.
Parker Washington, I don't know.
Yeah, it's Parker Washington.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was Parker Washington had 11 targets, 4 catches,
crap,
but 11 targets. And Brenton Strange was second with 7 targets. Brian Thomas third with 6. There were reads where he was open and Trevor Lawrence was just like, nope, not going to do it. And there were reads where Trevor Lawrence looked over to throw the ball and Brian Thomas was doing one thing and the quarterback was thinking another. I mean, you can escape a game like that against like the legless Texans or the Panthers, who actually had a better Sunday, and we'll get to that in a second. But I don't know, man. That whole game, Adam Archuleta was on the call with Spiro Dides, and you could tell. I tweeted this that he had like just fed up dad energy through the whole thing, where it was just like, you pay for all these lessons and basketball camps for your son, and he's still just slamming things off the backboard like a knucklehead. Yeah, and he had enough. So I don't blame him. Even announcers had bad days. So let's go over to, because that one I just felt like was big, right? I mean, the Texans are very close to a funeral march. And this is not one of those things that you're, Conor doesn't believe in the Texans. It's like, no, I mean, you're 0-3. Okay. 6 teams have done it. Yes, your team was the last team to do it, but that was a really good Texans team.